You've probably seen those aquascapes online that they look so perfect, so detailed that they almost feel impossible to recreate. You might start believing this is something that only experienced people can do. This is far from the truth. If you want to reach a level of competitions, this art takes years and years to master. But if you want to create something that looks balanced, beautiful, and just makes you feel good and proud of yourself that you created this piece, I can help you because we are going to lay all the foundation of aquascaping. What we are trying to do is simply recreate nature, but inside a glass box. This is the biggest challenge because we need to create a whole environment that will look natural. And the problem gets bigger if we have a smaller aquarium because the limited space means we need to be more precise with our structuring. Where I want you to always focus first is your foundation. Before woods and rocks, what you do with your substrate will create the depth. When we are putting our substrate in, what you want to avoid is layering it flat. This is not looking like nature, probably a propagation box. In order to create depth, we need to create a slope towards the back of the glass. When looking it from the front, you need to feel like the soil has movement. Another thing that you can do is simply create elevation only to one back corner instead of two. But in case you decide to do both corners, nobody tells you that they need to be at the same level. For example, I want this one to be kind of lower in contrast to this one. In case that you want a bigger elevation because you have a bigger aquarium, instead of using only substrate, use a net bag filled with lava rocks or leca in the bag and lay the substrate on top. The second step, the hardscape, woods and rocks. Now, if you are working with a smaller aquarium, you need to avoid all the bulky stuff because they are going to reveal the real size of your aquarium. The more slim, slender, with a lot of details, this is going to work best. When arranging your hardscape, a way to avoid overthinking is to use the simple rule of thirds from photography. We are going to visually create a grid on the front plane of our aquarium, and then we are going to put our main focus points on one of the two vertical lines. Where those vertical lines intersect with the horizontal ones, these are your golden points, which means if you have a special plant, a figurine, something, you will put it there. When we are looking at something, a picture, an aquascape, whatever, our eyes travel from bottom left up here at the top right. The more details, the better the result, especially if you're working with a smaller aquarium like this one. And mind you, your result is going to look way better because I am aquascaping without kind of knowing what I'm doing because I can't see. As a general rule, odd numbers always feel more natural to the human eye. That's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rocks in here. Spraying your aquarium will help you avoid dust flying around, make your life easier when you start planting the plants. If you're working with a small aquarium, what is going to work best for you is plants with small leaves. If you use bigger size leaves, they are going to reveal the real size of the aquarium. I want you to avoid putting every species on its own. This is not going to look good. You need to mix and match. You don't need to have the whole plant mass concentrated at the bottom. You can add some greenery at the top too, moss for example. You can use aquarium glue to secure your plants and moss in place, but I always prefer to use thread because this makes my life harder, but I also am able to remove them and relocate them or propagate them whenever I want.